Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he's got John's really does have the best advice.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rich Pyle, the host of Hole Nation, where we share everything this cornhole and a lot more. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and catch our new videos every Wednesday at 7. And remember, whether it's sticky or slick side down, bring it. Welcome to Taco Tuesday, everybody. How you doing, hole heads? Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO side-by-side with Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude, looking very snazzy, and we're going to get to why that is here in just a moment. But first things first, welcome to Taco Tuesday. And we started out with a little video from Tulsa, where that's the whole sooner than you think has to do with not just Tulsa and not just Manchester, but Worlds and everything else. We're going to get to center court etiquette discussions here in just a little while, plus results from Tulsa. But first things first, speaking of results, right there off the rip, you saw the Amish assassin in the piece of art that was his championship in Tulsa. And then there in the corner, not to be diminished, and in fact, we did a reversal of this just so you can see it. You can see your doubles champions. All right, we've got them right up here behind us. How about that? Grant Upchurch and Chase Lester. I felt bad because I put that together and it was just the way the app puts the picture together, and they ended up in black and white. I'm like, I don't know what else to do about that. It's not my app. So now they're in color. So I don't mean to be knocking out the Amish assassin there. I don't want him looking over my shoulder there, but there you go. So respect to our winners in world singles and world doubles. A good time was had by all. We talked with Heinerman about all the good stuff that was being spread around the room in Tulsa, and we'll get to that here in just a moment here in the ACO Underground, and we'll thank Jonathan Straczynski here in a little while as well, even further with regard to the different folks that came out to Tulsa for the tournament. William Howell is already on, saying he's already sent an early boom. He was part of the crew in Tulsa as well. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But don't forget, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit the bell so that you're getting the updates and everything else that we put up there. There's some great matches, some fast pitch matches that were posted when we first started putting those together. And it turns out it's almost to say a skins game fast pitch match is almost redundant, because full skins games can be put up and boom, 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 you can watch the whole thing. So those have been put up every day. I think we've got new ones coming up almost every day this week, if I'm not mistaken. So watch for that on the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and if you haven't tried playing skins, I mean, you can learn all about skins by just going out to our website and understanding the rules and regulations. Very simple. If you want to watch it in action, watch our Pro Series with Finn and Philip doing some broadcasting and stuff there. But actually, Finn, the other day we had one of our players in CO groups reach out to us because I think they're running a test skins activation. So kind of fun. And there's no rule on how much money you need to put on a skin, even if you need to put money on a skin. But the idea is to put a little bit of money on a skin, so there's some skin in the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you go out and play golf or whatever, you can put chocolate chip cookies on the line if you want for the kids, and see who can rake in the most chocolate chip, whatever. The great thing is, and the other part of it too, that I don't think we emphasize as much as we could or should, is part of it is throwing that frame game. And that's how you determine, some of how you're going to get into or how you're going to maybe seed a skins game. But it's also just a great way to practice and make yourself better, throwing a potential 156 to see what you're able to put together. And it's basically you against you, so it's a great way to practice as well. So yeah, make sure you check that out. There's also at AmericanCornhole.com the handicapping system, which is another great reason to use the frame game.
Yeah, the handicap system. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, once again, that's out on our website at AmericanCornhole.com. Go check it out. I mean, that's not something that we're going to be implementing in the competitive tour. We had a bunch of players and people freaking out that that's what the case was. But no, it's just a way for the backyard players, the local leagues and stuff, to be able to play on a more competitive level against each other.
It's ways for guys like me to be able to play more than 3 or 4 frames against anybody else I meet. And so if I start with a little bit of an advantage and I work my way toward it, I might get to actually get 10 or 12 frames in against somebody and have a much better time. And it's also, again, a good way to practice and get better and pick up tips from somebody who maybe is a level or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 skill levels higher than you, because that's the best way to get better. And ultimately your handicap goes down, you get to those even matches, and then ultimately the best feeling in the world is to finally beat somebody straight up that's been better than you for a long, long time. So again, both those things at AmericanCornhole.com. Check them out if you're interested in receiving push texts from the ACO, any news that we can put right there at the tip of your fingers. More of that probably coming as we get closer to some of these one-off events, some of the things like Camp Margaritaville, the World Championships, different things like that. And we may throw out a couple of photos here and there, who knows, from England, if I can figure out how it works while we're in Manchester. But again, the number, if you need to, text ACO to the following number, and that is 833-695-1318. 833-695-1318. Put us in your contacts as ACO text. When you receive one, remember, if you press stop, you will be opted out. So you'd have to opt back in. So if you're wondering, well, how come I haven't gotten any? You might have pressed stop thinking you were ending that message, but you opted out. And there's no real way to force you back in on our end, because we don't know that's what you want. You've basically sent them out.
You opted out.
You have to opt back in. So make sure that that you do that. Again, watch for some more of those 5-minute matches, those fast pitch matches getting posted later on this week. And pay close attention here as well to some of our bag partners who are scrolling along the bottom as always, but a few highlighted here on the tabletop right now. Big Daddy's Cornhole down lower left, your lower right.
Boom, yours truly, Big Daddy.
How about that? Those are the hammers.
Hammer,
yep. Bullseye bags. This one just came in, what, today?
Yeah, this week, yep.
This week?
Got the tracker bag right here, little bullseye action.
Let me see that real quick. I feel like we should probably take some of these to England with the darts.
I love it, baby.
Yeah.
That's their special branding there.
Blueprint. How about that?
Blueprint, a little Wolverine action in the house.
Good stuff there. And then you come up top in front of me, the Crazy Eights.
Crazy Eights.
Another cool set of Crazy Eights.
Nice.
And then finally wrapping things up with, and you saw their tent out in Tulsa, High Roller bags. So cool to be able to feature a few different bag companies every week, and all of them available for you at AmericanCornhole.com. You can click on any of the logos and shoot off to the store. We also like to feature our bag partners every day on the Facebook page at noon with a special $60 all-in deal. I think today it was, who was it, 157? I think it was the one, 157, their fuel series. There's 2 sets, 1 series, 1 day only. That's it. When they're gone, $60 all in. Don't forget the mystery grab bags at AmericanCornhole.com as well. $30 plus shipping, and you get a bag that is piled. I see them right over there piled up, waiting to be sent out.
Ready to be shipped out the door, baby.
Somebody here knows what's in these bags, but once they get sent out, we don't know. You don't know, but you're going to get stamped, official, licensed, and approved ACO bags for $30 plus shipping. You can't beat it. And we do the mystery grab bag for early registration as well. And before we get to Peoria, we'll have 2 new winners to announce for being one of the first 100 to register early for a major. Maybe you're new to what's going on. Some of this, I know a lot of the way we start the taco every week is repetitive because we want you to know what's going on. But if you're new, it's a chance for you to win a free set of bags just by registering early. If the first 50 registrants get 2 chances, first 100, everybody gets, first 50, you get a chance for being in the first 50, and in the first 100. First 100, you get a chance for being in the first 100. Kaz Barkley and Randy Zappala picked them up the other day in Tulsa, and you can see they also spotted Bigfoot, who was there to award them the free bags, which is nice. I got to remember to take the refrigerator magnet that I got for him in Branson like 5 years ago.
I clipped off of Facebook the other day Steve Austin. Remember when he had battled the Sasquatch or whatever it was? I clipped that specifically for Hal, man.
And you know who played that? You know who played the Sasquatch?
No, who?
Andre the Giant.
Was it really?
Yes, he did.
I did not know. That's
Andre the
news to
Giant
me.
was played Bigfoot Sasquatch on the $6 Million Man. And
there you have it.
There you go. Let's see. I think that covers all of the deals of the day. Oh, congratulations to Ben Ramirez of Missouri. He was the winner of our survey contest that we run when we send out the surveys about the cities that we've been to. We'd love for you to fill them out. Let us know what we can tell the cities we go to, what you loved about it. Or if no matter how you felt, they want to know the feedback, and it helps us show them what kind of impact the ACO has when we come to town.
Yeah, and just so players know, we use that. We take that back. One of the things that's a key that we talk about all the time that players don't even realize, but it happens behind the scenes in the negotiation process. And we run into it some different times that we just can't get over the hurdle. But one of the things we aggressively battle for the players is relatively good priced beer specials, drink specials. I mean, we are out there fighting for you because we understand it. And, when the facility or whatever happens to be charging a little bit more of a premium, we understand your pain, and that's why we continue to work to try to bring you the best product that we can, and that is reasonably good prices so you can enjoy yourselves when you come to compete with us.
And it's interesting to that point, too. These things don't just happen in a vacuum. They don't happen on their own. They don't just open their doors and go for it. A lot of cities have come around to understanding the importance of the beer pricing, but also just something as simple as the idea of selling buckets. There were venues that we've gone to that never even thought about selling buckets because if you think about the events that they host most of the time, there's no reason for that.
Right.
It's a one, and then you go back to the bar, but we tell them, look, if someone's playing a game and they finish their beer, they can't stop their game. Well, they could, but they shouldn't. They don't have time to go back and get another beer if you have to stay in the line. So if you got that bucket there, you're going to be rolling. And I think quite a few venues have come around and like, you might have been onto something there since people are in the building for, 14 hours.
Right.
That might not be a terrible idea. So it does matter. Your participation in the programming and the feedback and everything else does make a huge difference wherever we go. And we've seen some places come on board for that. So Ben Ramirez, congratulations for winning the he's going to get some tickets for an upcoming major of his choice for filling out the Bentonville survey. And I think all of those are always super good. People, I love me some Bentonville is probably what every one of those says on them. Still time. We were talking about, it's sooner than you think. It's interesting. I felt like somebody was trying to text me maybe to correct what I was saying. I thought maybe it was you. There's still time when we're talking about Throwensboro for the back-to-back major or world championships this year. There is still time, and it is sooner than you think, and it's closer than you think, and that would be check out some of these majors that are still to come. If you want to earn the points to qualify for the World Championships, there's still opportunities to do that. This pin map, it's available for you on the Facebook page if you want to check these out, just to kind of give you an idea how things are grouped on the road to Owensboro.
We got some really good ones left close by,
Yeah.
Particularly as you're seeing on the pin map there. We got that Shreveport one around the corner. That's going to be... how do you say that last
Shreveport
Bossier.
Bossier City. Shreveport Bossier City.
Shreveport Bossier is going to be on the list. We got Dallas still on the list. We got Branson still on the list in that territory alone. So we got tournaments
Black Hills,
Mobile, Alabama, Rapid City. I mean, there's a lot of good ones left. But even just down in that region that we were talking about, because I know we got a lot of interested Texas players that are starting to get involved, with the ACO down.
Well, I met a lot of them over the course of this past weekend in Tulsa, and we were talking about Straczynski's crew. A lot of folks coming in and getting a little taste of what the ACO is all about. In fact, you saw a couple of them there having taken doubles.
Right.
So congratulations, nicely done, and respect. And we did put that reversed photo up on the Facebook page for you guys, just so you have a larger copy of you in color. It's just the app. I don't know what to do about it. But anyways,
purple's coming to Texas now. It's starting to infiltrate.
Well, as a matter of fact, when we get to the results of Tulsa, a lot of purple jerseys popped up in Tulsa. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. But obviously, we're going to be getting into a little bit more of what's happening this coming week and over the coming week and a half in Manchester. But when we come back, Peoria is the next one on the table and been sold out for a minute. But if I'm not mistaken, here in about an hour and 44 minutes, a handful of tickets have been made available based on the setup in the room. They're not going to be around for long. So if Peoria was on your to-do list and your wish list, you need to get them. There's not going to be any spaces held for anybody. You just got to get on there and get them. So that announcement was made probably about an hour and a half ago. I think April.
And that's tonight at 9 o'clock
tonight at 9 o'clock. So if you want to come in and be a part of Peoria, come in and get it done. And I've seen a lot of people saying, can there be exceptions made for pros that want a spot? No, this is always first come, first serve based on the size of the venues. We can always expand the venues moving down the line with the CVB. But again, that's where all the feedback comes in. But it's still incumbent upon you, if there's one you want to go to, get a ticket and roll out. It's that simple.
Phil Barnett mentions that there was a good contingency of Kansas City players that ended up in Bentonville as well as Tulsa. So thanks to all those KC players coming out.
Nice. Lots to celebrate in Kansas City this year.
I think that's largely driven by our man Magnum out there, who his players and stuff like that he's trying to get into the ACO and playing now. So that's exciting news.
All right, so when we come back, again, Peoria will be the next one on the list. Those tickets won't be around long tonight when they go up and are available at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's 9 o'clock Eastern. But following that, then Shreveport-Bossier City, which is there's a couple of things associated with that one. We're going to test drive a new schedule, and I think this is worth going over again because it shifts up Saturday. And it shifts up Saturday, again, based on some of your feedback about the order of operations with playing, the uptime, the downtime, the playtime, the bag changes, the everything and anything there is with regard to that Saturday schedule. We've taken it, absorbed it, digested it, and let's talk a little bit about what Saturday looks like now.
Yeah, I mean, basically Saturday looks like is what we're going to try. Again, as Finn said, this is a test drive, see how it works, because we want to have things continue to run smoother and smoother for our players. But we're going to test out running the World Doubles pool play first thing in the morning on Saturday, 8 a.m., and then that is followed by the main bracket and the tier brackets of the World Doubles. And then immediately following the tiers and the main event for doubles, approximately 2 o'clock, this is just approximately, we kick off with the singles pool play, which will then lend its way into the main event and tiers for singles play that evening.
So there you go. And again, part of your feedback and wanting to make it as smooth a day as possible so everybody's not just sitting around and waiting on somebody who might already or might still be playing over here that's supposed to be that might be holding up this bracket, especially when we get into these split brackets. So we'll see how it goes. Again, it's a test drive, Shreveport, Bossier City. It's our first time there. We're going to give this a shot. Understand this too. In the venue, that bar is going to be cash only. It's a cash only venue. Now, you mentioned this. It probably is better that it's cash only than credit card only because, we all tend to roll with a big fat wad. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just know that it's cash only going into the venue in Shreveport-Bossier. And coming in early on Thursday night, you're going to have maybe one of the most kick-ass welcome bash opportunities that we've ever had.
So Aaron Lambert says something. He is correct. Pros now will have to come in the morning to compete. But the good news, for those pro players is they don't have to be there for singles pool play. So they've got that break in the middle of the afternoon, should they so choose to go get something to eat, go get something to drink outside the facility. So the pros still have a little bit of advantage over everybody else where they aren't stuck, stuck around.
They have the opportunity. They have more flexibility, we'll say. How about that? Unless they haven't stretched.
You don't like that word opportunity, but they have better opportunity.
I like opportunity. I didn't like the word stuck much.
Well, stuck.
We've brought lots of handcuff keys. You will be free on your own recognizance for just a couple of hours. But no, I think it does come down to the logistics. Clark and LaBelle and April and Mia and everybody that's been running tournaments, gathering all the feedback, and they're hearing, whenever they hear certain comments over and over, again, they internalize it, digest it, and say, well, what if we try it this way? So we're going to give it a run. So Shreveport-Bossier, the venue's cash only. Know that. The pre-party is going to be awesome, and this is very cool. It's a $1,000 guaranteed purse. Again, it's one of those where we're going to have, 64-player cap. I believe it is available for you to sign up for now on Scoreholio. So 64 players, 32 teams. Did I get that right? 64 players, 34 teams. It's going to be a double elimination tournament. And we're going to be playing in a lot that's kind of right behind what they call Hurricane Alley, which is a big live music stage. We're going to be right there with a bunch of bars and restaurants in this East Bank district, which is super cool. You can check it out online if you'd like to. But there's a place called Bojack's, Frozen Pirogue, Bayou Axe, one of the axe throwing places, Chef's Table, and possibly Seventh Tap Brewing, who just opened up down there.
Oh, wow.
But all sponsoring this. So we got a $1,000 guaranteed purse. It's going to be big fun, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff to do. And they did on the flyer, you can see, and we posted that on Facebook as well, some of the different specials that they've got going on for us, and some of the stuff that they've got going on all the time, which is cool.
Well, I'm excited, and people better get signed up. I think you said the tournament is already out there for people to sign up to, right, Finn? Is that correct?
Yep. So 64 players, 32 teams max, and I think it's what was the hit the graphic there for me again, so I want to make sure that I can see the 99-cent oysters on the half shell, $1.25 char-grilled oysters, 2-for-1 daiquiris, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. What?
Huh?
Yeah, and then what do we got?
Well, these people might not make the tournament.
Yeah, right. If you're at 11 a.m. 2-for-1 daiquiri, don't even bother signing up. We'll see you on Friday. But 5:30 registration, 6:30 bags fly. It's going to be a big fun, and appreciate Bo and everybody, Brittany and everybody at the East Bank District for helping us put that together. So that's going to be one for the books. Right there, Shreveport Bossier. So check it out.
Sign up, though. Register now. Don't talk about it if you get the lost opportunity to play there at that Welcome Bash. Because that's one of the things we are starting to do more of, right, Finn? We just had that one in Dalton. Yeah. We had a great Welcome Bash there in Dalton. Same thing we had in Clarksville, right?
Yeah, and well, there were 3 different welcome bashes in Clarksville, and sometimes they're hosted differently, as we've talked about. CBC guys hosted one, Miggy's hosted one, the CVB hosted one, and some of these that the CVBs will host, they will sponsor free memberships or free entry into the doubles tournament. And I think the mistake that I'll own it was when we put together the flyer for Dalton. It was targeted to people in the area for the CVB to encourage their cornhole players that normally come out and play there at Crescent City to come out and win their way in to the tournament. And it probably didn't say that clearly enough on there. So some people are like, well, what the, but the bottom line is when the CVB sponsors things like this, it's an opportunity to try to get more local players to come in and play. So the messaging might have been a little kooky, but the bottom line was that everybody I saw there was having a good time.
Had a great time.
We were upstairs with the bartender Carson, I think was her name, and we had a good time talking with her. And we met the ultimate doppelganger. Bell's ultimate doppelganger, and that's a question you can ask him next time you see him. It still blows him away. It might be his best one of all time.
It has to be.
Yeah, Cedar Rapids follows on the heels of Shreveport Bossier in April, then Grand Prairie, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Black Hills, Rapid City, South Dakota. You heard Harcrow last week talking about the 10 different places he's already going to send pictures for where he's going to be out hanging about in the South Dakota area. Toledo, the Glass City, follows up. Mobile on May 3rd and 4th. Camp Margaritaville, again, leasable campers. If you don't have a camper, but you've always wanted to try the camper life, this is the chance to do it.
With that Margaritaville one, you get your places soon because there might be some extra special stuff happening. Not 100% guaranteed, but we might have a free T-shirt giveaway for the first 150 people that sign up. So, and it's a special T-shirt. I think people are going to want to grab this one. So stay tuned for that. We'll hopefully be announcing that in April.
All right,
get
very
your
good.
Tickets to Margaritaville.
And if not, forget he said anything. No, I think it wouldn't have been brought up if it hadn't already been a discussion.
Nope, it's a good thing.
That's cool. And then Branson, obviously, as we wrap up the season, as we always do Memorial Day weekend, the 24th and 25th. That's for the and we'll get more into it as we get closer. But the twist on the skins game, number 5, the Pro Series skins, is going to be happening and opening up the final bracket to 32, but with a little bit of a twist. And we'll explain again more about that as we get closer to the Worlds. In June, of course, Punta Gorda, the Gulf Coast Classic, a 3-day extravaganza with we throw all the rules kind of out the window except for the actual rules, which we're also going to get to here in a minute. But as far as how we run the tournaments and where and what and your opportunity to get out and do things early in the day, the Twisted Fork and then off to the 4 Points for the next 2 days. How fun is that?
Oh, it's fun.
$20,000 on the line.
The best is the little drummer boy watching people try to throw left, right. Even though our pro players have now had a chance to practice over this past year, it's still a challenge to throw left hand, right hand. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and what's funny is you can practice it. That's probably one that makes more sense to practice than like when Whole Nation does the game challenges and they do the greenbacks.
Oh, yeah.
People practice that, and the more I think everybody practices, the worse they're getting.
Well, Cooksey proved that there's a reason to practice with both hands eventually. In case you lose the use for a while of one arm, you can still play the game with the other arm.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but I had the car accident back in what was it? Hell, I don't remember. 2019,
like 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah. And so I came up to a regional that was being run up the road in Milford, and you guys were there, and 2 or 3 sets of boards. I'm like, come on and play. Come on, get in and play. And I'm like, I'm left-handed. I got 4 pins sticking out of here. I got 1 sticking down there. I suck anywhere. They're like, just throw with your opposite hand. You can't be any worse. And I did, and I actually,
you
did too. You did
Ben.
say it. You did. Well, Heinerman said it. Somebody said it. You can't be any worse. And so I started throwing my right hand. I actually threw better because I didn't win, but I actually threw better because I wasn't overthinking any of it. I didn't think I was going to do any good, and I ended up being much more relaxed. So the drummer boy is kind of a fun little exercise.
Good training. Good training way.
Absolutely, for sure. And that was the last time I ever played cornhole competitively. Thanks. Anyway, no time to fill this week because no tournament this weekend. He's on a plane tomorrow?
Tomorrow, baby.
Wow, tomorrow well, not to Manchester, but to Europe. You're going to Ireland.
We start in Dublin.
Yeah.
We're going to celebrate St. Paddy's Day, me and the wife, with some friends in Ireland there, and we're going to make our way down to our friends in Cornwall.
Yep.
Going to hit the little pub down there, maybe check out a racetrack and go up to London and do a little bit of exploring of London before she goes home. And I head up to Manchester to our friend Daniel Lilly and see everything about to embark there in Manchester. So I cannot wait, Finn. It's going to be a blast.
2 words associated with this one in London right now. I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Well, 3 words. Big Ben, Parliament. Big Ben, Parliament. He's going to get hung up in that traffic circle. I know it.
I'm walking.
But I think 18...
I thought you were going to say pub crawling.
No.
Pub crawling. Pub crawling.
No, because eventually it'll be pub crawling, face down, crawling. No, but it should be big fun, and we've got more to get to here as far as Manchester and what's going on. But as always, even though we don't have time to fill this week, we'll have it for Peoria when we get back. But we do encourage you to send any video shorts that you've got to us, taco@americancornhole.com. We did ask you to send some ACO before picks, and we've got some good ones. But we're going to start with one in particular, and I think you'll know why here in just a little while. But first things first, videos that we want to show you any chance we get are some of the best shots or best strategy and strategic play that we can get, and nobody finds that and presents it better than our friends from Whole Nation. How about this little shot of the week from Rich Pyle and Tracy Pyle?
Thanks, Finn and Frank. Welcome to this segment brought to you by Whole Nation. I'm your host, Rich Pyle. I'm going to show you a cornhole shot from a recent tournament. A pivotal shot, a game-changing shot, a shot you don't get to see every day. Check out this shot of the week.
These momentum-changing shots are from the Tulsa Major this past weekend. Gary Bearpaw was in the king seat, and he had a 14-4 lead over Tyler Goodwin. First, Tyler executes a beautiful airmail drag, cleaning up the hole. Gary misses his push shot, but leaves his bag just hanging in the hole. Unexpectedly, Tyler shoots for the back of the hole and nails it, not even touching Gary's bag. There was no stopping Tyler from then. He went on to double dip Gary and get his first major win. Congratulations, Tyler, and great shooting.
Thanks for watching this week's Shot of the Week. Now let's turn it back over to the Taco Show with Frank and Finn at the ACO World Headquarters. Frank, Finn?
Yeah, and how about that matchup in Tulsa? That was something else
good
right
one
there. And as you saw, I think you know the outcome of the game because Rich just told you, but also that was and he uses the word pivotal, absolutely pivotal point in that game. And you knew when you're heading out to Oklahoma, Gary Bearpaw, there's no bigger target on anybody's back than Bearpaw.
Bearpaw's got a big one, that's for sure, man.
Hey, clip that, will you?
A big target.
Click that.
Why do you always have to clip out those words that I say?
Because you always say them. Oh, man. So thanks, the Whole Nation, Rich and Tracy. They're getting all kinds of good stuff out there. I think I just saw our boy JC, Chip, was out there focused on one of his hero poses and a little bit from Whole Nation out there. So we appreciate you. And, you know, since we were talking about ACO before, one of the ones that we got last week, he reached out during the taco, was John Steins, who's going to be, I think he's coming in from Northumberland, or he's kind of the Northumberland area.
Okay.
Coming into Manchester. But he said, we play this game called quoits. And I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm not sure. But this thing supposedly goes back to ancient Greek mythology. And it was the game that killed the Apollo the god. So I haven't gotten that far down deep into it. But basically, quoits, if you look at some of these photos, very similar, very much represents or resembles horseshoes. I think they're 11 yards away from one another, and then you can play. There's also table quoits you can play inside a bar. But these guys say they are ready. Cornhole obviously was the perfect evolution out of this game, and I agree. I love these photos.
Their poses are total cornhole player poses.
Oh,
I mean,
no question. In fact, they're more normal than most cornhole follow-throughs. But I agree with Heinerman. We were looking at these and said, if you just took any one of these pictures and just put it up in front of your face and said, guess where this is? I would say, around Northumberland in the UK. There's the stone wall, the 5 different colors of green, the architecture in the background, just as authentic as it gets. I love the fact that there's different versions of this game, very similar to tabletop cornhole or
Sure.
hallway in the hotel called the Cops Cornhole that we've also played on the mini boards as well. So ACO B4 Cornhole, this is what John Steins and his crew were doing. And there is an American Quoits organization that's out there as well. So if you're looking to play in America, you can do that. But there's a huge history behind this game and basically laid into the UK.
well, the one thing I see, and maybe it's because I don't have my glasses on, I need to be looking closer, Finn, but the one difference I could tell that this is not a cornhole tournament is usually we have a beer in our hand and a bag in a hand, where they appear to be more focused on actually throwing their quoits.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, we're typically throwing quarts and quoits, but so there's a great history of it. I was kind of looking at some of the different versions of it here. There's slate board. There's sometimes you use these metal discs that weigh I think 4 or 5 pounds, but you can also do it with ropes. It looks like a carnival game. Sometimes like you'd see at a theme park as well. But no, it's good stuff, John. We appreciate
Hopefully
you.
we get a chance to test that out while we're in town.
Play some darts, play some quoits, play some stuff we're not used to playing, and see if we're any good at any of those. I'm probably not, but it'll still be worth taking a shot at. So appreciate that. If you've got anything you want to show us what you did before Cornhole, we do have a couple more that were submitted. We'll get to those in the coming weeks, but taco at AmericanCornhole.com, send them to us. And now let's talk a little bit about Tulsa. I want to get into these results because again, we talked about players coming in from all over the place, whether it's Kansas City or whether they were coming in from different parts of Texas. Good stuff, and good stuff by the crew. I mean, Heinerman took the truck out and got set up with, so it was Heinerman Howland Company, which sounds like the greatest law firm ever, which we might need at some point. Jacob and Whitney and the family Garner, as always, appreciate you all. And then the Mississippi Ninja and Boom on the microphones. How about that?
Yeah, killing it.
Taking no prisoners.
Yep, that was awesome that they stepped in and did that.
So good stuff, and throughout the course of the weekend, I know a lot of you were looking for the feed, and anytime we can have any kind of feed, we love to do it because you can throw it up on the smart TV on YouTube or on the Facebook channel, so we're appreciative of when you take the opportunity to do that. And we had a lot of first-time purple jerseys. This is awesome. We'll start with the Bagmaster quads. Big D, as you might imagine.
All right, there you go.
Took the Bagmaster quads, the photos on the Facebook page. Big blind draw, Bryce Jefferson and Aaron Cheatham. That's pretty solid right out of Tennessee and Illinois, so heading west.
Good one there for sure, man.
Yeah, to grab a little bit of the hardwood. And co-ed doubles, first purple jerseys for the co-ed doubles for Team Puckett. How about that? Megan and Chase Puckett take co-ed, so good for them.
Is that right? That's their first
purple jerseys of the year.
Of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second.
That's when I say first-time purple jerseys, I'm talking about this season.
Okay, I got you.
Juniors, Parker Burgett, again, still unclear. Anybody wants to clear me up on that? Parker B, congratulations, out of Alabama. Florentino Mendoza, taking seniors. And did you get to see some of that game? I did not.
We called it.
You call that game? That's a player that's brand new to me from Arizona.
Yeah, he's good.
Really good player. So congratulations there, and you'll see his photo as well there on the Facebook page. Martina Belt, as I believe, was picked by the Mississippi Ninja, took down the women's. Then, as you saw in the photo earlier, Grant Upchurch and Chase Lester, Texas players came out of, I think, Straczynski's group, didn't
Yeah, I think they're part of his group. I believe we'll probably see them probably at the Dallas one, maybe at the Shreveport one as too. So I don't know who's going to come and beat them at those spots, but they are the team to beat right now in that part of the world.
Yeah, well, they burned it up, and they grabbed purple jerseys for themselves as well. In fact, Martina's the only pre-existing here because Tyler Goodwin ended up taking singles, as you saw in the photo earlier, and that was his first purple jersey of the season.
Tyler,
how about that,
brother? Good for you, man.
So, yeah, good stuff. So, representing Alabama, well represented, Texas, Tennessee, Arizona.
Now, wait, who'd he take out?
He took out Bear Paw.
Bear Paw.
Yeah,
that's his hometown, or his home court anyway, Oklahoma boy.
Kind of. Well, we saw that. We saw the shot of the week there, and then Levi Haddock, a younger player, came in third in world singles, and has been a name that's popped up quite often when we've been out west. So
yeah, I think I heard he's only like 15. So once again, you got these young kids coming up from all over the country, dude.
Yeah, Xavier Williams fourth, Jacob Coleman and Craig Irvin tied for fifth, and I tell you what, boy, there's some Scott Beck and William Cobb were in that doubles division coming in fourth. So there were some big names, and it was a packed field. So congratulations to anybody and everybody that was out there, and those who ended up taking home the hardwood. Well done. Nicely played. What was it? We talk about Craig Irvin too. Going to be one of the 3 featured players when we get to Manchester. We're going to have a little meet and greet.
That's right.
Pre-party. So there's going to be Caleb Hurt's going to be there. Kimberly Dice is going to be there, and our king, one of our kings, which we have to be careful about how we address him when we're over there, so they don't think we're mocking anybody. But
that's right.
In fact, I don't even want to mention the crown I had put on my tooth today because I don't want it to seem like I'm not taking it seriously. But bottom line is 3 players from the ACO that I know players in Britain and the UK can't wait to meet. There's been a lot of excitement about those 3 coming over and getting a chance to meet at the pregame. And the pre-party will be cornhole, but also I think a little bit of darts. I think we're going to be throwing some darts.
A little bit of darts for sure.
Yes, absolutely. David Lloyd Manchester North is the venue where we're going to be, and you'll see some streaming. We're working out with Daniel Lilly, how we're going to get some streaming ready to roll for you. We're even trying to work out maybe a little taco next Tuesday from the racetrack, while we're out at the racetrack with the boys and girls from the Par Inn. So we may record. I have a feeling you're going to see some video from the Par Inn as well, even if it's pre-recorded for airing later at a later date.
We might want to do that, dude. I'm just saying.
Well, we absolutely will. Now,
no, I mean pre-record it and
edit
it down properly.
Probably pre-record it in front of a green screen right now because I don't know, because I'm going to be there on St. Patrick's Day, so I don't know how it's going to go from there. But the bottom line is looking forward to the entire experience. ACO Europe major is going to be big. Daniel Lilly is just running gonzo all over Europe, and this is just going to continue to build and be big fun. So we mentioned Cornwall. Many think the Battle of Cornwall took place in 1595. Among the many different raids upon Cornwall, won this one by the Spanish, or with Cornwall, or the number of times that they rebelled against authority. I'm not the least bit surprised that there was a big rebellion culture here within Cornwall, but many think the Battle of Cornwall was 1595. I would beg to differ. I believe it's going to now be down in Wikipedia and the history books in the year 2024. If you've been paying attention to any previous episodes of The Taco, then you know that it has really gone down between one Tom Collins, the king of Cornwall Cornhole, and one A.T. Klinger from Dark Horse Cornhole. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch. But we did finally get some exclusive video of their final workout regimens. So we're going to show you that, and then we'll come back, and then we'll preface what we think may be final thoughts, or as Tom Collins likes to call it, rubbish talk. So check this out and see what you think. Clearly a difference in the training regimen there. It looks like AT is getting better training on how to perhaps rob a bank than anything, but you can see the difference in the regimen. Looks like Tom Collins' game is on point.
Dude, I don't think he missed a bag when I was watching.
I don't think so either. And I guarantee he was standing the requisite 27, 28 feet away. You know it for a fact.
He had a couple lippers, but other than that, man, they were pure, baby.
That was good stuff. But check this out. Look at the score towers. Got a little bit of different personality to them. The trophies look very familiar, and that jersey on the bottom looks very familiar as well. Stand up.
I gotta stand up. I gotta stand up for this. Look.
Yeah, get out there. Model that bad boy.
No, this is serious though. We're gonna have all the players, both from the
Turn
UK
around, show the
or
back.
the European contingency.
Come toward me. There you go. A little bit more.
Can you see it? Can
Yeah,
you see
there
it?
you can.
Can you see my
There you
butt
go.
now?
Very good. That's all I wanted was just see your hiney.
But no, this is going to be fun, Finn, because we're going to take this jersey and I'm going to have all the U.S. players signing on the right side and all the European players signing on the left side, and then this going into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame, man. This is a keepsake piece for generations to come.
Absolutely, and you see that specially designed logo for ACO Europe, the World Cornhole League is part of that. Big things are coming, kids, and this jersey is just a microcosm of what all of that is. But big fun. We're waiting on. I tell you, I think we're just waiting for it to explode.
We're ready, buddy.
And I think we've got the right people in place now. I think we do have one more video, and this one comes down to. And this comes down to almost using someone's weapons against them. And these are the final thoughts on the Battle of Cornwall 2024 style between A.T. Klinger and Tom Collins.
Hello!
Hello? Who is it?
It is King Arthur, and these are my knights of the Round Table.
You don't frighten us, English pig dogs! Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries. I fart in your general direction. Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time. Run away! Run away!
That was so good.
And again, using your own weaponry, a little python against you. And if you don't know the movie, go get the movie.
You need to see it.
Yeah, the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and then that should take you into the life of Brian. God, there's just so much great content in there. But cheers to AT and Tom Collins for being great sports.
Well, Finn, I got to let you know, this makes me laugh even harder because last night at dinner, I was with the boys, my wife, and my mother-in-law, Gail.
Yeah.
And I discovered something about Gail that I did not know, but her least favorite word in the world is fart.
Oh, really?
And so in that little skit, when they talk about, I will fart in your general direction. I had a chuckle, an extra chuckle, just for hearing that from my mother-in-law last night. So I might need to have that clip. You have to show me how to put on my phone.
Make that your ringtone.
So when she calls me,
I in your general direction.
You got to teach me how to do that.
Time.
All right. Anyway,
I'll make it happen.
Come on.
Man, so it's worse than moist.
Oh yeah. That's worse than moist for her. Oof. So next time you see her, you got to say something.
I'm gonna say, oh man, I had chili last night. It might have been a moist fart. She'll probably explode. Anyway, oh, God. Right. I feel you. But Monty Python and the Holy Grail, go check it out. The Meaning of Life is another good one. The Life of Brian, fantastic. Classics, absolutely classics, as was this entire prelude to battle, which will take place likely at the Par Inn or who knows, at a garden anywhere between Tom Collins and A.T. Klinger. So good stuff there. So let's get to it before we wrap things up. I know we teased this up front about the etiquette edition of the taco, and a lot of talking. And thanks to Dylan and Bill, the CBC guys, they heard a little bit about this. They reached out and asked a question to me. I reached out and did what I typically do is find out the actual answer before I give the wrong answer. And it has everything to do with ultimately center court etiquette, center court presentation. Now, The rules guide and the player's guides come out every year. Every year there are little tweaks that happen. Sometimes there are entire sections that are added, things that explain things like the skins game and how that's going to work or whatever. For the most part, the rules and regulations are pretty standard year in and year out. But because the game continues to evolve, things change. So we will have things that we'll add that will be made known to everyone even as the season continues, and they will be posted, and and we'll get to some of those here in a moment. One of the things that came up was footwear on center court. For years, in fact, I just learned this today. I didn't realize this. There was a regulation about no open-toed shoes and no sleeveless T-shirts, among other things, on center court. I did not realize that these were all rules that were basically put together because of one player who would show up barefoot in a cut-off T-shirt. And that's not really how we want to present ourselves.
And
Would you agree?
100%. The problem was he was one of the best players on the planet. I mean, that's how you play when you're on the beach. That's how you play when you're in your backyard. That's not how you play when you're on TV.
Yeah, and when you're trying to get to center court and really represent not just you, but sometimes the club or the people that you play with, that's where that came from. So as it evolved and as it continued moving, things get copied and pasted from section to section, year in, year out. The footwear, the open-toed shoes, part of it didn't make it into this year's player's guide. It's in there now. So no sleeveless shirts, no open-toed shoes. And it really is, we're not banning Crocs or anything like that, but it's just one of those things where just the professional look and the etiquette on center court is how we want to present ourselves to the world, whether it's sponsors or anybody that happens to be watching around the world, just to see, that we take it seriously and we want to play a good, serious game. Some of the other things where we talked about, those are long-standing rules that, and the enforcement of them has been a little bit confusing because I think one player was told, yeah, you have to have it. It's in the rules guide, and it wasn't, but it usually is, and it will be now. And then somebody else was told, no, it's not in there, so you don't have to do it, but you do because it's in there now.
Yeah, and that was down in Dalton. A player was Higgins.
Mason Higgins.
That was competing, and I made him change his shoes because of that fact. Again, this was a rule that was in the book. Somehow it wasn't in the book this year, as you just explained.
Yeah.
So, again, hopefully players understand it. We're not trying to make your lives difficult. We're trying to make it better. We're trying to make it so people want to be a part of this. Sponsors, as you talked about, people want to tune into this. People want to look at it. So some of the other things, Finn, talk about some of the other things, too, that we're going to...
And this is the evolution. And this is something that just kind of popped up this year. And again, when you're watching the stream, you might not think you're even noticing some of these things, but I guarantee you, if you think about it, you will. The Zuka bag. Great utensil, great way to haul your bags around, has no place sitting on the side of center court. It just doesn't. If you need a chair, we'll get you a chair. But the Zuka bag does not need to be on center court, will not be allowed on center court. That's just a new one that's popped up over the last couple of years, but it started to be pulled out onto center court as a seat or whatnot. Ultimately, that's not going to be the case. So those will need to, and we're going to post these at center court. This list of things so that there's no ambiguity, and we count on you to follow that rule when you walk out there. You go, okay, I know these rules. I've been on center court before, or more importantly, I haven't been on center court before, and you can see the way these things are laid out. Another one is vaping. There's typically no smoking in these buildings, and they always say no vaping. It just looks terrible. I'll be honest with you. It looks terrible if you're just sitting there pulling on a vape while you're playing. You're putting out this plume of, train engine smoke or whatever it is. It just doesn't look professional, and we want to do our best to really show everybody, what we're made of.
I mean, and this isn't obvious because, smoking supersedes, or trumps really vaping. But that means no smoking on center court either. Most people can't smoke indoors anymore anyway, but I'm just making that point that, no smoking, no vaping is something that we want to take off center court, as you mentioned, the Zukas. Yeah, the Zukas is mainly just because it sloppies things up, really. I mean, I don't know if that's a word that I want to use, but it really makes it look tacky out there. Doesn't make it look professional like it needs to look.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you this. If Zuka came in and go, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars and pay your players that make it to center court to bring their Zuka bags out there, then maybe we make it look the way we want it to look for you, and you can share in part of that. But at the same point, the bottom line is it's set up to look a certain way, and we really want the focus to be on the players, the gameplay, and the boards. And anything that distracts from that, not really great, not a good look. So hopefully you understand that. There has been no selective enforcement. It's if somebody notices something, now we are working to make sure that it is all standardized and everything is laid out the same way for everybody. So thanks again, Dylan. We appreciate you guys reaching out. I know they're probably going to be talking about this more tomorrow night, but know that there's no intent to do any selective enforcement. It's just a matter of standardizing the look and feel of center court.
Well, and the key you just said there too, Finn, is that the players also need to help govern themselves. This isn't just on center court. This is out when you're playing in the main event. If you're a player that happens to see somebody that keeps stepping across the line on you, just stepping over to that, you have to call that out. You have to call a timeout and come get an official that can come over there and stand by that court and watch to make sure that somebody is not stepping over the line. We do not have the resources to put an individual body on, all 40 courts that are out there to watch and officiate those. For years, the way it is that our players, who are knowledgeable, smart, competitive, athletes out there, have self-governed themselves, and they need to continue doing that. And that goes for center court as well. If they get on the center court, you're doing a down and back. If we happen to miss, somebody who is, wearing open-toed shoes because they have, maybe it's dark Crocs on and dark socks that you didn't even catch it.
I think that happened this past weekend.
Is that what happened this past weekend? Yeah. But that's just an example of. So, again, we are doing the best to set the rules and regulations for center court, set the rules and regulations for what's going on outside of center court, but we need to ask the players to also work with us to help govern that.
Bottom line is, these will be updated in the rules guide, players guide. The link will be sent out. Things will be posted at center court. And so there's no excuse, honestly. And here's the deal. You know. So now, if you do know, just do what you know needs to be done. In golf, honest to God, in golf, they have all kinds of officials. But you know what happens in golf? If a guy is grounding his club and no one sees the ball move, but the ball moves, you know what they do? They call an official over and go, I just did this and the ball moved. That's how that works. Because it is back in the day, referred to as a gentleman's game, a gentle person's game. This is, believe it or not, a backyard game, but has always been self-governing and is intended to be a gentleman's game. So you know the rules. Play by the rules. It's no different than anything else. And you don't have to be a narc. You don't have to, there's none of that. If you don't want to call somebody, then you can't complain that they're doing it to you. So if you need an official can be found and we'll make it happen for you. But in the meantime, again, no open-toed shoes. This will be added back into the guide. No sleeveless shirts, already in the guide. No Zuka bags on center court, no vaping on center court. Some of the new things, some are evolutionary, some are revolutionary, and some have been there forever. But that's how we wanted to kind of sum all that up for you tonight. If you have any questions about it, feel free to bring it. Nigel Walton's checking in from New Zealand. Nigel, it's always good to have you aboard, whether it's at a major or on the taco. Hopefully, one of these days we're going to get to New Zealand and we're going to be able to have ACO Australia, New Zealand, all of that whole region down in the area. Would love to get you out there to play.
Yeah, Jarrett Barks, he just says he's got to make center court first. I mean,
well, there's that, and there is that.
There's somebody else chimed in here with a good thought. Stanley's. John Steins chimes in. They do have footfall. This is on a different note. Footfalls and quoits. I did. And yes, they do have a lot of beers, he says. Oh, he chimed in.
They're just better at camouflaging.
John, I appreciate you watching the show too, brother. We'll see you soon, man. No, but Finn, who was it I was trying to find? Nice jersey.
Stay behind the line, bro.
Yeah, stand behind the line. Oh, this is not for tonight's discussion, but these are things, moving forward, into season 20 and 21 and beyond. A thing that's been out there kind of surfacing here and there is the whole idea of, headgear for the sport, right? Should players be allowed to wear headgear? But that's a topic for a different night. But these are things that need to be addressed.
And that's going to tie into, because at first I thought it was one thing, and then I saw it tied to something else. And it's a whole other topic, is people shouting out advice from the crowd about what you should do so you don't have to take a timeout. Coaching from the crowd, or being distracted by people who might be there to watch the person you're playing against, and the ability to and I used to not like having the earbuds in because I thought you needed to be able to be part of it. But if that is your issue and you need to remain focused, I don't know if I feel the same way as I used to. So those are obviously conversations we can run down the line. But and Philip, I see, he said the vaping is a big thing. Absolutely. Look, again, we want people to take us seriously, and honestly, that's the best way to do it, is standardize the look of center court, celebrate you while you're there with no distraction. It's that simple. So we will post those notes at center court. We will find an official for you if you need one. We count on you to do what's right. It's that simple. What else you got? Anything else?
That's all I got, buddy. I think it's time to wrap up the evening. It's almost been an hour online.
Earbuds, yes. Headphones, no. I got you there. I would think headphones would be hard to throw in. It seems like they would jar loose if they're not tucked into your ears. But nevertheless, I want to see somebody with an old stereo, quadraphonic stereo, with headphones with the big, long, curly cord that plugs in, and then they have to walk back and forth with that cord on. Get the record player? Yeah, we'll get a record player. Maybe a reel-to-reel or something like that. That'd be great. Yes, no covered wagons on center court, no motorcycles. I think that goes without saying. No rollerblades.
Shannon Sheehan says, what about people standing behind the score tower while you're throwing? I mean, there's those things out there in the world that you need to...
Well, that's another thing. That's always what's kind of amazed me about center court. Philip and I talk about this all the time. You're out there playing. If there's 60 or 70 sets of boards, I mean, you are nuts to butts sometimes with people playing side by side. The fact that you can stay focused in situations like that, and then when you get to center court, it's like, where is everybody? Right. It seems like that might throw you off your game, being on center court with all that space. Look, proximity is an issue. Just don't be a dick. That's what it boils down to. Our entire player guide could just come down to don't be a dick. And if you're not trying to distract somebody, you're not actually, trying to interfere with the game, there's no reason to do that anyway. So, yeah, if there's people standing all around, again, a lot of times it's a proximity based on the space available, but just don't be a dick. It's very simple. So that's my final couple of words for this evening, except to say your Taco Tuesday now belongs to you. I, as always, am Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO, getting ready to hop on a plane, and we'll see you from the Par Inn, if not sooner, once we get to the UK. He is Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude, reminding you.
Don't forget, 9 o'clock, Peoria. Keep on pitching.
Hi, I'm Rich Pyle, the host of Hole Nation, where we share everything this cornhole and a lot more. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and catch our new videos every Wednesday at 7. And remember, whether it's sticky or slick side down, bring it.